a year of change for the organisation, particularly towards the end when Natalie Collins, who had been with us for 12 years, who started with Infoxchange on a student project and ended up becoming the general manager. And I think that is a really nice story that tells a lot about Infoxchange and how we operate and what we're about. Thinking about where we've come from over the past 20 years, there's been over 1,000 people employed at Infoxchange. And a good number of those stayed a short period of time and have moved on to other activities, whether that be other work or whether that be to further education. That to me, is a very, very satisfying part of being involved and leading an organisation like Infoxchange, that there are those opportunities. So that's on the inside of the organisation. On the outside of the organisation, we've also had, I think, a very significant impact on many thousands of people through our Green PC enterprise that refurbishes old corporate, I shouldn't say old, but refurbishes end-of-life government and corporate computers, of which we've distributed over 30,000 since that enterprise has been going, which then means that 30,000 families have been able to get engaged and participate in what I would call a civil and democratic society in the information age, that everybody then needs to be able to get access to the technologies to feel part of our society. And that's been a very important way that we've gone about delivering those services through to the digital inclusion activities, where we've wired up public housing estates in the inner city area of Melbourne and created a sense of community that wasn't there in the past. A lot of those communities, the things that bind them have often been negative, things like poor security, drug problems on those estates, poor maintenance and things like that. And when we went into these communities and started to put computers into there, it ended up being something that was positive, that people were able to engage together and talk together. And it also showed me that the idea around the internet, whilst it's this global phenomenon that's happening with us, in actual fact the benefit of it is at a local level, where people can find out what's going on in their local communities and participate. And then moving to the work that we do in our online services area with the S2S service-to-service service coordination tools that we've been building over the last 8 years, and in particular in the last 12 months, these tools have come to a level of maturity where they're very well regarded in the health sector, particularly in Victoria, but growing in Queensland and New South Wales, where over 6,000 health practitioners now share client data amongst themselves. That means that people, when they go and see a health practitioner or a homeless worker or a youth worker, don't have to tell their story over and over and over again, and don't necessarily have to sit in waiting rooms to find out where there's a bed or where there's a service, which can be a terribly demoralising and depressing thing that people need to do. So I think that the activities that we've been undertaking in that area are providing opportunities for people that just weren't there in the past, and I'm extraordinarily proud to lead an organisation that has people working for it who have a vision and ideas, and then are able to implement those and take them through to fruition. The work also that we've been doing with our online communication services, our Infocasts, where we communicate with over 72,000 people every week, and the work that people do in terms of gathering information and presenting that in a form that then is useful for people, so they don't have to go scouring the internet for information all the time and they can get it in one place, I think provides another very valuable service. The work of the Infoxchange board is absolutely crucial to the survival of Infoxchange and to its growth. People who contribute to the board, of which there are 8 people over the last 12 months who've been engaged there, contribute their time voluntarily, and do so with enormous grace and willingness to ensure that the vision around technology for social justice is carried out and fulfilled. And I thank them very much for that work. And I also thank all the staff at Infoxchange for the contribution that they've made. We've been able to take the work of Infoxchange outside Australia over the last few years, and the work that we've been doing in East Timor with the establishment of the Info Timor social enterprise, which is based on our Green PC enterprise. We've sent to Timor, I think, about 10 containers of computers over the past 4 years, and that enterprise currently is employing 30 young Timorese people who are refurbishing computers, providing those computers to schools and to community organisations and to government, and also then providing a training program for Timorese people to learn how to use the technology, and also setting up internet services through the provision of satellite connectivity, and then setting up wireless networks across a couple of the villages there that then allows those people then to participate again in the 21st century world. I estimate that they contribute around about $40,000 a year to the local economy, and whilst that might not sound a great deal of money, when you consider that people are being paid on average around $80 a month, the money that they're contributing into those communities is reasonably significant. One of the other enterprises that we're really very excited about that we've established in Timor is called the Carbon Exchange, which is around looking at getting subsistence farmers to reforestate their land and plant trees and nurture those trees to the point where the carbon that gets sequestered in those trees are then able to be sold to people in the developed world who want to offset their carbon footprint. And the work that we've done around that is looking like being able to treble the income, the annual average income of subsistence farmers, and a great opportunity to be able to create further employment opportunities in rural and remote villages in East Timor, and also introduce a level of technology that they wouldn't have otherwise been able to get access to, because the idea is that we will set up a technology hub in each of these villages so that the village farmers can do their carbon trading activities, and then the school kids can use the computers for their learning and other activities. The final thing around the activities that we've been doing outside Australia, and in particular in the region, the Asia Pacific region, is that I was invited to go by Microsoft to be a keynote speaker at a number of non-NGO sector forum days, where I was able to tell the story around digital proficiency and ensuring that community service organisations made the most use of the technology that they have, and the opportunities that will come out of that into the future, I think, are pretty significant. We've had quite a change in terms of our thinking around this over the past 12 months in particular, in that we have been very much an open source house, but over the last 12 months we've moved to looking at the offers that Microsoft have, and Microsoft have changed, I think, the way in which they provide their product to the not-for-profit sector, and they're now providing that at no cost or very low cost to community organisations, which means that then these organisations are going to be able to get access to high quality and probably more importantly well supported software and applications that again will mean that people will be able to access the health and welfare sector and get the services they want quickly and efficiently, and that's a good thing. And I rambled.